Evening, y'all. Lenten services will probably be up tomorrow, but I thought I'd wish you a blessed and maybe quiet end to your day now. Today is the day after St. Patrick's Day. Did you miss it? It's okay if you didn't think to wear green or think about any of the other things we do around St. Patrick's Day. As it is, things have been a little bit topsy-turvy. But Patrick was an amazing man. He went out as a missionary to Ireland after having been a slave there for a while first. And Ireland was full of all sorts of superstitious people. The people were afraid of evil forces in the dark, and they would huddle at night trying to keep away from them. And Patrick was a man whose faith in Jesus made it such that he could go out in the dark. He could even sleep out in the night, exposed, without fear. And this amazed them. In a topsy-turvy world with dark things seeming to lurk around every corner, Patrick, by faith, showed what it meant to be a man of hope. He lived that hope, and it ended up changing a whole nation. These are days where we be people of hope, because our nation needs people of hope, with a bit of a smile and a lot of prayer. I have here something I'd like to read to you. Hopefully it'll be a little bit of an encouragement to you. It's called The Lorica of St. Patrick. A lorica was a type of prayer of protection, literally meaning a breastplate, which was popular in Celtic countries. Since then, it's been used not only as a morning prayer, but a prayer of protection, and I find it encouraging just in general. I arise today through a mighty strength, the invocation of the Trinity, through belief in the threeness, through confession of the oneness towards the Creator. I arise today through the strength of Christ with his baptism, through the strength of his crucifixion with his burial, through the strength of his resurrection with his ascension, through the strength of his descent for the judgment of doom. I arise today through the strength of the love of cherubim, in obedience to the angels, in the service of the archangels, in hope of resurrection to meet with reward, in prayers of patriarchs, in predictions of prophets, in preaching of apostles, in faiths of confessors, in the innocence of holy virgins, in deeds of righteous men. I arise today through the strength of heaven, through the light of the sun, the brilliance of moon, the splendor of fire, the speed of the lightning, the swiftness of the wind, the depths of the sea, stability of the earth, and firmness of rock. I arise today through God's strength to pilot me, God's might to uphold me, God's wisdom to guide me, God's eye to look before me, God's ear to hear me, God's word to speak for me, God's hand to guard me, God's way to lie before me, God's host to secure me against snares of devils, against temptations of vices, against inclinations of nature, against everyone who shall wish me ill, afar and anear, alone and in a crowd. I summon today all these powers between me and these evils, against every cruel and merciless power that may oppose my body and my soul, against incantations of false prophets, against black laws of heathenry, against false laws of heretics, against craft of idolatry, against spells of women and smiths and wizards, against every knowledge that endangers man's body and soul. Christ to protect me today against poison, against burning, against drowning, against wounding, so that there may come abundance of reward. Christ with me, Christ before me, Christ behind me, Christ in me, Christ beneath me, Christ above me, Christ on my right, Christ on my left, Christ where I lie, Christ where I sit, Christ where I arise, Christ in the heart of every man who thinks of me, Christ in the mouth of every man who speaks of me, Christ in every eye that sees me, Christ in every ear that hears me. I arise today through a mighty strength, the invocation of the Trinity, through belief in the thrones, through confession of the oneness towards the Creator. Salvation is of the Lord. Salvation is of the Lord. Salvation is of Christ. May thy salvation, O Lord, be ever with us. May God's salvation be ever with you, and may his peace surround you, grant you comfort and peace and joyful rest tonight. God bless you all. We'll talk to you down the road.